What's happening, fight fans? Welcome back to the MMA Mindset. Back with my first ever PFL interview. To be fair, never interviewed someone coming from PFL before, so really excited about this one. One of the top prospects coming out of the UK on the pro scene. Had an amazing 2.5 years since turning pro, and very excited to have Connor Hughes. Thank you very much for joining me, mate.
Yes, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. Obviously, just kind of want to talk about your last fight before we build into this one because I think it's quite a big story
Yeah,
heading into this fight. Obviously, coming off a defeat for the first time in your professional career, how have you kind of dealt with that, and what are your plans to bounce back?
at first, it was tough to be honest, because I think it was just, I fully believed that that was my moment, and uh, just how the fight went. Like, it was a frustrating fight for me. I think you could tell when I was in there. But since obviously getting my head back together and accepting it for what it was, I, to be honest, I've only grown from it really. Like, I learned a lot in that fight mentally. Not just about my game and like where I needed to improve and stuff, but like a lot in terms of like strategy and mentality, and I just feel like I've grown and matured within the sport just from that one loss. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to show that I have learned a lot from this, and just like my losses as an amateur, this will make me even better. So I'm excited to perform next week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember obviously when you fight we first fight with PFL got announced, and my partner she watches like the UFC and like the lower regional show, but I was like, oh, I'm really excited about this kid, and I think did you kind of feel that expectation from everyone heading into that fight as well?
Yeah, definitely. PFL have got big plans, and they have big plans for me, and they still do. But I think the first time under the big lights, the big stage, a lot of money getting thrown about. It may have got to me. Like, I never, when I was there, I didn't really feel the pressure of it all. But I don't know, maybe the expectation a little bit. But like I said, I fully believe that that was my moment, and like I've been working my whole life for it. But it's just I felt like it had to happen for me. Like, looking back at it now, it had to happen. And I think next Friday, I think you're gonna see that.
Yeah, just obviously just want to speak about. Do you think you've kind of been doubted since that loss as well? And how are you planning on silencing these doubters? Is that kind of give you extra motivation to better yourself and improve on places where you were maybe coming up short?
Yeah, like, I've got a point to prove with this one. I feel like I've kind of been doubted most of my career, to be honest. Like, I was just a striker that came into MMA really, and yeah, like, I know there's a lot of people in the background cheering up when I get beat, so uh, I've definitely got a point to prove. But you know what? Like, it's not even. I don't even want to make it about them. Like, it's more for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's more for me to prove my point that I belong on this stage, and I do, regardless of what happened in July. I still fully believe I'm one of the best coming up, and I think in a few years, well, next year, I'm gonna win this qualifier, and then I'm in the tournament again next year, and I'm gonna have that belt 100%.
And then that sweet million as well, like that's something as well as the belt. That's
Or
kind of got to entice you into that. It's a relatively quick turnaround from a first career, well, professional career loss. You seen some people who'll have the first career loss and then they won't come back for a year or two. Was it important for you to have a quick turnaround, not sit on it and just get back in there?
yeah, I wanted to be on the Paris card, so I messaged Dan Hardy like probably the day after the fight and said, like, I want to get thrown in straight away. Um, and he was going to put me on the Palace card, but the Palace card was full. So he said to me, like, if it's not Palace, it'll 100% be Dublin. So, like I said, I wanted Palace, but I think, I think this one is perfect. Really, it's given me a bit more time to improve. Maybe doing the Palace one, it would have been a lot more like more emotionally motivated in terms of, I just wanted to get back in. This like the time that I've had off, I've sat with the defeat. I've took it in. I've accepted it, and I've improved massively. Like just the training and the coaches, like everything has became more specific, and you know, as frustrating as that fight was, it opened my eyes to what needs work, and like I said, a lot of mental stuff as well, and I've just grown. I just feel like I've grown and matured in this camp, and I think the time is perfect. Don't get me wrong. If they'd have rang me and went, yeah, there's a slot on Paris, I'd have done it. But me, mate, I want to be active. I want to be fighting. I don't want to be sat on the sideline. Like, you know, like, all right, yeah, the loss got to me at first, but that was never a thing for me to be like, oh no, I'm gonna wait next year. Like, no way, I'm never gonna wait that long. Like, if you rang me to like after Dublin and went, there's another card, you can fight at the end of December, I'd be on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think people take for granted the amount of years you get in MMA, and I think when they do that and take a year or two off, they'll look back and they'll regret it. In times
yeah,
where they were healthy, they could have been fighting. So no, I get your decision there. I think it's the correct way to go. Obviously, just want to speak about your upcoming fight. Obviously, fighting Sebas Guedes,
yeah.
very experienced guy as well. Got a lot of fights. I think he's got like 18, 19 pro fights under his belt. Was it obviously important for you to get in there and test yourself against someone with so much experience? And do you think that was kind of one of the best fights for you at the time when it was offered?
Yeah, well, they offered me a French guy at first. I think it was the guy who's fighting tooth. They offered me him. I accepted. Didn't hear back for a few weeks, and it was a bit up in the air what was going on. And then he came back to me with Guides and said this is the fight. So I just said okay, sound. And as soon as I got the phone call, we accepted, and within 5 minutes, the fight was made. So like me, I'm not really about whoever PFL give me and go. This is who we want you to fight. I'm going to take the fight. So it's a good fight for me. Like you said, he's experienced. Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's fought on a few big shows. I think he's fought on Combat A Global and stuff before. Um, it's a good fight for me. Do I think I think this fight is just pretty much, stick to the basics, stick to the game plan, and I don't see any issues really. I think we've got the skills to completely shut his game down and get him out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be looking forward to, like I said, seeing it. And I've been like obviously looking through, keeping an eye on your kind of training camp. Have you made any sort of changes to your preparations that you did last time? I think I saw you've been working with a different boxing coach as well. So, what's kind of
Yeah.
changed in your camp, and how much has your new boxing coach kind of improved your skills?
Well, like I said before, the camp and the coaches, the training as a whole, since that loss has been a lot more specific. Like everything's kind of just more dialed in, and you know we know areas we need to work on, and just been more open with each other. To be honest, like I feel like the relationship between me and my coaches has grown since that, and we know exactly what direction we need to go and stuff. And but in terms of me boxing coach Joe Mack, um, honestly, he's unreal. He's Liam Smith, Beefy's coach. He's padding some of the best boxers coming out the country right now, and I've literally started training with him this fight camp, and how much he's brought on my hands over the last few weeks is insane. He's a great coach. He's his knowledge and the details that he has, and how he simplifies things and breaks things down to you is it's second to none. To be honest, like when I was coming up kickboxing, my granddad was my coach, and he was very, very strict on me. Never let me slip. If I done anything like not basically if I done anything not 100%, he was on me case about it. Joe's similar, maybe not as ruthless as my granddad because my granddad could say whatever he wanted to me. But Joe is just old school boxing coach, but just purely technique and details, knowledge. Honestly, like I can't wait to even just show how much my hands have came on. Never mind everything else, but I can't even. I could sit here for days and go on about how good he is, but I want to show it on Friday, and you're gonna see a big difference. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure we will. I just kind of want to touch on your career in general. Only 2.5 years since you turned pro. You're going into your ninth fight now. You've got a plethora of finishes, amazing performances, highlight reels. You must be really proud of everything you've achieved already, and how much further you've got to go to achieve everything else you want.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely proud. Like sometimes I've got to kind of remind myself, like where I am now. I used to literally daydream of this when I was younger and I first started. So sometimes I have got to kind of like remind myself and be grateful and be proud of how far I've came. But I'm not satisfied, and I don't think I ever will be until I've got two titles and made a name for myself and created a bit of a legacy that'll kind of live on. But um, yeah, it's a credit to the people I've got around me. You know what I mean? Like I said, I came to MMA as a purely kickboxer. Um, the team I've got around me has built me. They've completely changed me to a mixed martial artist now, and you know, I'm only just getting started. Really, like I'm 26 now. I'm still young, uh, and I'm already fighting in the PFL. Like, how many people can say they're fighting in the PFL after 2 years of turning pro? And it's only going to get bigger. Like I said, the loss was a setback, but I honestly believe this comeback is gonna set me up for the next 10 years. So I've got to just stay switched on, stay sharp, and I'm just gonna go in there and be me. I'm not gonna force nothing. I'm not gonna set out to please. I'm just gonna go in there and aim straight for his head, take him out, and show that I am actually the real deal. And July was just part of the journey.
Yeah, and do you have a prediction for fight night at all?
You know what? Like this one, I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna do me. Like usually I'm like, yeah, first to second round, I think I was like that with the Tuke fight, but I'm just kind of focused on the win, and I think the game plan, the idea in terms of how we're gonna basically set this guy into traps. I'm just gonna go in, be me, and that'll be enough. I do believe I'll create the openings to take the guy out, but I'm just gonna go in and show who I am really, and like I said, that'll get the job done. I think.
Yeah, definitely. And just finally, obviously, we've touched on it. 2024, getting that spot on the tournament, winning the tournament. Is that your goal for next year, or is there any other goals that you kind of want to accomplish next year? Like I said, years are a long time, and I think people kind of say, "Oh, yeah, I just want to win one or two fights next year." But is there anything in specific you want to achieve apart from obviously that tournament win?
I mean that's literally my fight schedule next year is win this fight and then go into the tournament again next year. By the end of 2024, I'll be PFL Europe champion, 100%. Um, I've just got to take care of business next week. I'm going to enjoy Christmas, and then next year I'm going to completely take over the Europe scene, and then who knows, maybe go into the World League then and win the world title and the $1 million.
Yeah, well, like I said, I look forward to watching it, mate. And I think, like I said, you're gonna put a lot of people in their place come a week today. So no, thank you very much for joining me, Connor. I really appreciate it, and all the best of luck on next Friday. And I'm like I said, I'm sure you'll smash it and put on a show.
Thank you, mate. 100%.
Not a
Tune
problem.
in.
Yeah, I'm sure we all will. Thank you very much, mate. And yeah, like I said, all the best.
Appreciate it, Chris. Nice one, mate.
Cheers.